Hi there, it's been a few days, so I thought I would do another little volcano update for my friends. And I think the last update I gave would have been on Monday or Tuesday when we had another vent or small fissure open on the just before lunch on Monday. But then on Tuesday, very early Tuesday morning, I believe it was, probably a few minutes after midnight, yet another vent opened. And then overnight, last night, about 3 o'clock in the morning, a fourth vent opened. So what does that mean for, what is happening and for us in Reykjavik? Well, it means that there's been a lot of excitement and people are still travelling to see the volcano, but not in the same numbers that there were, partly because the people that wanted to see it generally have seen it. That the excitement was obviously greatest in the beginning, and if people have been to see it once, some may go again, but the vast majority probably wouldn't. So there comes a point when you reach a saturation point for the large numbers going to see it, and then you just get far fewer. The civil protection authorities are doing a wonderful job of keeping everybody as safe as they can. Those that visit it, of course, the rest of us are safe in our homes anyway. There have been a couple of times, not yet in Reykjavik, but there have been a couple of times when local communities have been asked to keep their windows shut and not to put babies outside to sleep and so on, because the gas levels were higher than they would like them to be. And also because of that, for visitors that go up to the site, they are having to follow different directions at different times as to the pathway they may take, because the gas levels are different depending on how active the wind is and the direction that it is blowing in. So one day a pathway might be possible, and then the next day it might not be, or even a few hours later it might not be. But they were opening the site at midday today, and then hopefully allowing people to stay until midnight or nearly midnight, beginning to really herd them off the hill at 11 o'clock. A lot of people love to go up when it's getting dark because it is so spectacular at that time, as you will have seen if you're watching this and you're a friend on Facebook. I've posted quite a few links to really spectacular drone footage of this. But to come back to the 4 vents and what this means for the lava flow volume, I know about 3 days ago it was said that the lava flow had doubled because all of these vents are within an area that is along the magma corridor that formed when we had the huge number of earthquakes, including some pretty big ones. The earthquakes now are small. They are not that many more than normal, probably a few more than normal, but unless you were sort of really close, you wouldn't feel them at all. And even then, I think most of them would not be felt, but they are measured, of course. So that is the situation, and many people felt that when new vents opened, we were likely to have more earthquakes or something that showed it was going to happen. But the signs that were expected have not really been there. This eruption has been a little bit different in that there are signs, and so far all of the vents that have opened have been within the defined danger zone that they keep people out of, the visitors to the site. But there are signs, they're just slightly more subtle. For example, there tends to be a little bit of land subsidence or depression before a vent opens, and also steam or gases will be seen, escaping rising from the area, and that is often a telltale sign. So they are looking at the moment at whether they have to extend what they call, the dangerous area that they keep people out of. They are looking at whether they have to extend that now. I know that from the second eruption vent, the lava was flowing into Meridala, but I believe that from the other two, certainly from the third vent that opened, the lava was flowing into Geldingadala, the first valley to receive lava. And I don't really know about the fourth eruption vent, although I think it is probably flowing into Geldingadala because of the location of where it is. So it's remained fairly exciting. As I always reiterate, we are very safe here. The worst that could happen really is if the wind was in this direction, and it is, if the gases built up, we would need to avoid spending much time outdoors, and certainly it would be advisable to keep the windows closed, but that wouldn't be that much of a hardship, because if we keep the windows closed, if we keep the central heating at a sensible level, we don't get too hot, so that isn't really an issue for us. But I just wanted to give a little update for my friends, and I will give another one probably in a few days, unless anything sort of really different happens. But as to the prognosis, first of all, the scientists were saying, well, it'd probably be 2 or 3 days, and that really, in a way, was why everybody raced up there, because they thought it was going to end. But even for people that can't come to Iceland for a year or two, if the eruption is ended, they are still going to see a new lava field, and that is pretty exciting in itself. So there will always be the opportunity to either see the eruption or the new lava field that has flowed from it, and going to see a new lava field is exciting. I know that because I experienced that feeling when I went to see the hollow ground lava field from the Baldabungu eruption that erupted between 2014, the autumn of, and 2015 in the spring. I actually went in 2017, in June 2017, and it was a day that was filled with so many extraordinary things, including a trip up to the Askja explosion crater from a massive eruption that took place over 100 years ago. I think it was 1875, but I would have to check that date. And it was still really special to go to see the new lava field. So that is something that is waiting for people when they can come to Iceland, whenever that is. It will be there for them. And of course, even with the eruption ongoing, you can see the new lava. It's still hot. It's not something that you can walk around on and explore. At least you certainly should not, because although it looks solid and it looks cool, it's very, very hot, and jets of red hot magma can kind of just shoot out of it. And just as a reminder that actually is dangerous, there was an Icelandic volcanologist, I think it was in 1947 or thereabouts, who unfortunately died in that circumstance at the edge of the lava, where red hot magma just happened to basically jump out and get him, which is one of the reasons why people are asked to comply with the safety arrangements and not to get too close, and only to go up and visit when there are civil protection people there, you know, the wardens from search and rescue and so on, actually up at the site, making sure that if any changes are necessary, those changes will be made quickly. But it has been a very exciting few days, and I love watching it on video and keeping up with the news. It does make life interesting, to say the least. So I will leave you now, and I will also post hopefully 1 or 2 links alongside this video on Facebook. Have a lovely afternoon or evening, whichever time of day it is for you.